It's been a fascinating...
The great thing about it is the camaraderie of all the players. I mean, they all get to... When you're away on tour for maybe 2 or 2.5 weeks, you get so close to each other. You do, and it's such a relationship that's taken onto the pitch, which is great.
We're also going back to Britain and to an interesting transfer market, which has been discussed at length in various newspaper columns.
Well, we don't get that here, do we? You've got one of these magic little things that tells you everything. I'd lose track of what date.
It's called an iPad, Paddy. iPad is not a magic anymore. It's not a magical anymore.
I don't know how to work. You're the younger generation. I don't know how to work them anymore.
By the way, we've got to keep our eyes everywhere here because Ashley Young's on a mission to try and try and find us with the ball. No, just thinking, we look at, for example, West Ham United, first game of the season, and you see they've signed Joe Hart on loan, they've got Marko Arnautovic, club record fee. Chicharito has now signed for West Ham United.
Have they signed a player that frightens you? No. Have they signed a player you think, God almighty? No,
it's interesting to see who's moving around, what's happening.
I know, but it's gone stupid in the market as well. I think but the thing is, I don't think we can actually be discussing these sums anymore because they're just gonna get more crazy, Paddy. So sometimes crazy. I just feel like it's a dead end. How much time am I gonna spend in a studio here talking about Kyle Walker or Mendy and the sums? The clubs are setting themselves.
If you're Manchester United and you're a Manchester United fan and you're looking at United signing players, you're looking at somebody like Messi or Ronaldo. You're not thinking of players that will they do well at our club. Manchester United would be looking at something. Will they do well? It'll lift the whole place.
Of course, look at just the name.
Sign Ronaldo or Messi.
No, but look at Neymar now. Before last week, talks about going to PSG for £200 million. 222 million euros was agreed. That's his buyout clause, and they were just willing to pay that for Neymar. Then he goes to a different level.
This is great stuff, by the way. Just shows that it's not always about using your feet. Lovely bullet header from Romelu just a couple of seconds ago. Daly had a chance there.
The great thing about that is making a little bit of space for yourself, whether you're throwing the ball or playing the ball. Making that little space for somebody to find you, like you've just done down. Did he score? No,
he did. Yeah, no, he scored. Yeah.
Oh, did he score? Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to score with a header in this game, so that's, as you say, it's all about losing your marker, creating space, and ultimately scoring.
Correct. So you've been listening to me
well.
You've been listening to me then.
It's just a nice little warm-up game as well.
Yeah, great fun.
Paddy, should we join in?
You'd be all right. No, you'd be all right.
I could just stand by the post. We found you there on the back post. You could just head him in. See, like that, Mickey's scored 2 headers already.
Yeah.
He's one to watch next season, isn't he? A lot of people have said that. Henrik Mkhitaryan, he's been brilliant on tour.
He's a class act in actual fact. He's got a football brain, which in football you don't have a lot of players with that. That sounds crazy, that, Dave, but you don't have somebody that can pick out passes or see situations. He can.
Hat-trick of headers for Mkhitaryan now.
Yeah, but at the same time, I've said it thousands of times. I think people are on my board of me listening to how I'm speaking about the Armenian Maradona, as I call him, Mkhitaryan. No, but it's just the way he thrives forward with the ball, the control he has when he breaks lines. It's not that easy. It looks much easier on the telly, but when you see him live every single day, how careful he is with his first touch and how upset he gets if in a box or if in a key ball session he doesn't get it right.
So intelligent,
so intelligent. Yeah. The spaces it takes up, even in this game, even it's a warm-up game.
Yeah.
Why did he score them 3 headers?
Well, he's the smallest fellow there.
Because he picks always the right areas at the right time, and he does that on the pitch as well.
You're very biased, Paddy. You talk about midfielders having to be intelligent.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, no, absolutely nothing. But I mean,
you're hinting at something.
Were you saying Paddy wasn't intelligent, Dave?
I would never say anything like that.
You have to respect the elderlies now. Come
Especially with these objects around that are around us.
I'm always a great believer that midfield players are the most important players because of what they can do with the ball when they get it. They're the ones that hoping they can create a bit of space for somebody to put the ball in the back of the net.
Of course, that's the heart of the team. It's always been. If the midfield doesn't work, you don't win games. You don't control games as well. Doesn't matter how good your defenders are, how great your strikers are. And that's what I'm talking about Barcelona. When they had Busquets, Xavi and Iniesta, they were unbeatable. But Iniesta is older, Xavi is good. Busquets doesn't get the same support anymore, and they lose their midfield, and they get vulnerable at the back. At the same time, it's harder to get the balls up to that magnificent trio they have.
Oh, they had. They were made them the great side they were.
Great to see this kind of exercise, because over the course of the last couple of weeks here on MUTV, live with training on this Tour 2017 presented by Anne, we've brought you exclusive training shots with very different training sessions along the way. Obviously, each session starts in a similar way with the stretching exercises and whatnot, but the coaches here working hard to keep it all fresh.
It has to be, exactly, because players can get bored from doing the same thing every day. I mean, it's all right practicing free kicks and corners and doing all that sort of thing. That's something you have to do anyway. But all this is using your imagination and great fun for players.
But it is interesting that when you do a drill like this, you're working on various skills that you'd use on the pitch, that you're not thinking about it, are you? This is just instinct a lot of the time.
The great thing about it is them finding that little bit of space to get a decent pass in. Obviously it's throwing it in there, you've just seen a little bit of space, and it's the ball's in the back of the net.
No, because that's the main part you said that David touched on it there. You're not thinking. And sometimes, for a player, it's such a good feeling not to think about the exercise, if it's heavy, or what are we going to do. Just go there, enjoy yourself, and just do whatever you want for yourself to get warm enough to actually go into the actual session, because if you see the goals are set out, it's going to be a small-sided game or whatever it is before the game. So I'm looking forward to that, but sometimes it's just a nice feeling to go out to train and not to think, you know.
Yeah,
it's one of them empty sessions.
Well, with the game tomorrow, obviously it's not going to be as strenuous today as it would be in a normal day. All fun, which is, if you know, it is all fun, isn't it?
Important to get that balance, isn't it, between the sort of hard work, the mental hard work, but also a bit of the sort of relaxation time, and watching a move like that unfold's terrific.
Yeah, but teams that don't have team spirit don't celebrate, don't laugh at this way. People think, but it's for fun.